my banner ad. And then maybe I need 5,000 clicks in order to get 1,000 users. So that means that I have to pay $5,000 in order to get 1,000 users inside the app. And out of those 1,000 users, maybe 70% are good and 30% are less good. So I literally have to pay for all the users so I can give you a better option. But then, of course, inside my application, you can also recommend your friends, which means that if I'm married, I can join my application and say I have 20 friends that are single, and I can recommend them to the network of singles inside. So kind of a LinkedIn for love, where you endorse your friends, so people can come in and see, oh, this guy has 5 recommendations, and one is from David, and one is, so, yeah. But that is basically how it costs. It costs money. It's either advertising on Facebook or Google advertisement, or I had a Time Out was my partner, Time Out Singapore, so we did ads in their magazine, and they did online features about us and so on. So, but it costs me money for every single user that. I think it's about 60% males and 40% females. So there's always going to be more males. If a dating site says that they have more females, they bought them.
Any other questions from the floor? The gentleman.
Hi, it's Colin again. First I want to say thank you to the panelists for serving us. You've added tremendous value to us. I'm just going to make you guys work a bit harder for this question. I think we are talking about not just Facebook, but also Google+. So would there be an additional advantage in escalating from just Facebook messages to, say, shall we have a Google Hangout? And we can then talk to each other remotely, at least get a feel of the other person before asking the person out on the actual face-to-face date. So is there any value in using Google+ to escalate slowly before you go into face-to-face meeting?
Does it have to be Google Plus specifically, or are you referring to video conferencing?
Video conferencing, but I think Google Plus is a great platform for me. Thank you.
I think there is value. I mean, if you can do it quickly and easily, then go right to Google Plus or whatever video software that you want to use. Then you can get an idea of the person, at least on video. I mean, they can still dress themselves up and do other things that they might not do when you see them in person, but it does take it to another level beyond just the Facebooking.
Doesn't Facebook have an app, something like Facebook chat with video? So it could happen right in the same application, or the same platform. Yeah, seeing the person is great.
Skype has partnered up with Facebook. Yes, I would say like this, no matter what happens, I know that there are online videos, there are online this and that, but I still have to agree with David. Offline gives you a true presentation of yourself. You have as I said, the body language, eye contact in a different way. You have the charisma, you can feel it, the tone of voice. When you're in a video, it might crack, it might, it is so much more natural to meet offline, and even if you met online through cam or been talking for 3 months, when you meet offline, it might not work. It really might not work. You were very, very lucky for spending so long time, but I'm not saying that people should not put effort into using all these social media tools that are out there. I do think that you should do a video talk perhaps before you meet. That is good, because it can give you a quick view of the person, overall view. But in the end, you need to meet the person offline as soon as possible. Not try and spend too much time online. That's my tip.
Any other questions from the floor?
Yeah. I'm just interested to know how has social media promoted long-distance relationships? Do you have any examples where your dating app and your dating sites have actually resulted in a long-distance relationship? And also a question directed at Alexander. What made you stay so long online talking to that person? And like, yeah, I'm just curious, like what made you go on so long before you met up and you realized that it wasn't right for you? So the first question is directed at everyone.
Okay.
Maybe Alexander, you want to address the specific question to you first?
Yeah, I'll just, the specific question, well, this was about 6 or 7 years ago, so I can't remember exactly what we're talking about, but basically it was everything about, based on interests mostly. It was evolved around things that I like to do and she liked to do it. But that also shows just because you like something, both of you, doesn't mean that you're going to click. Because I don't personally believe in having common interests, but I think I'm the only one in the world. But that's because I have absolutely nothing in common with my girlfriend. And this way it's pretty exciting for me because I get to do stuff that I never did, and she gets to try stuff that she never did, and so on. So in that way it's pretty cool as well. Of course we have some stuff in common, but the conversations I had was basically around interests. About traveling, how I like to travel, she likes to travel. We were talking about, oh, if you were to do this trip, you were to do that, and you know, oh yeah, that would be so cool. But then when we met, it just didn't click at all. The emotions wasn't there, and I never spoke to her again.
Thank you.
First question was about long distance relationships. You were asking whether the panelists had any success stories to share.
Yeah, how do they feel social media could promote a long-distance relationship? Has long-distance relationships been on the rise since we have social media now?
I mean, we don't have the figures to support whether it's been on the rise, but you know, I think long-distance relationships have been around like even long before social media. For example, do you remember the IRC chat rooms? Like I used to be on IRC chat rooms a lot, and you met a lot of people from overseas. Okay, you guys are going to think I'm really weird, but you know, since I had a long distance relationship for 2 years with an American boyfriend, and that I met on IRC. See, revealing too much of myself, but you know, I've always loved the internet. I always thought it was such a great way of, like, I had a lot of friends. I went out and partied a lot, but I think I was like 20, maybe I was like 25. And I just love to talk. I mean, obviously, my job is being on radio, and so and I love to write. I have something. I love writing. I think there's something very romantic about writing, and so it was very natural that I used to write a lot and fall in love a lot through somebody's words. And so I went on IRC and then chatted, and I think a lot of people met even back then. And remember, even before IRC, there were like pen pals that you could actually subscribe to like a pen pal service. So I think I think it's made it more transparent, but I don't think it promotes long distance relationship specifically more. But at least now, before when you say you wrote, whether it's pen pal or IRC, it's probably just one-on-one. But now on Facebook, you can kind of see more about. You get a glimpse of that person's life a little bit more. You can see where he lives, and there's more photos and the friends that he hang out with. So I suppose it gives you a better idea of where this person comes from and what his life is like and who are the people that he mixes with. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
I can give you an example. Before I came to Singapore about 5 years ago, I had a girlfriend. And I said that I was going to go to Singapore. And back then, you hardly had Skype, you hardly had Facebook. Facebook was nothing but a Harvard University little thing. And she was completely destroyed, saying that you cannot go to Singapore. Are you insane? It's never going to, what are we going to do? While now I have a girlfriend here, and I have to go back to Sweden pretty regularly. And sometimes I can stay for several months. And she just goes, no, it's okay, we have Skype, we have Facebook. So, I mean, in one way, I think it helps long-distance relationships work better. And I think that social media has made more long-distance relationship last. That I think. But I don't think it encourages people to do online long distance relationships. It's not like, oh, I have Skype now and we have Facebook, that's why I can have a long distance relationship. That I don't believe in. I only believe in that once you have a relationship, it helps you keep the relationship longer than other.
We have one question from on our Twitter feed. It's from P. McDermott. Does the panel think that Bang with Friends will be disruptive or simply a flash in the pan? I think he's referring to this new Facebook app. It's called Bang with Friends. I've read about it myself. It's basically an app where you can indicate if you would like to hook up with one of your Facebook friends. And if he or she indicates the same, then that result is reviewed to you. So I think this, he's trying to ask whether it's, just a flash in the pan, or it could be a sign, a trend.
I would say like this. First of all, you have to decide. You have to decide what you want. If you are out for a quick bang, then yes, this app is pretty cool. Number two is that the problem with apps like this is that most people in those apps is definitely going to be men. So if you look at the feedback, at comments and so on, since that I've been checking up on them a lot, then people say that, well, it's like going into a bar filled with guys and one creepy girl in the corner. So, I mean, it has its advantages, and of course, if all the guys, you put an app in front of their face and they say that, would you like to know which one of your girlfriend wants to bang you? Yeah, every guy is going to join. So, while on the other hand, if you ask a girl, do you want to bang with your friends? Well, she might be interested, but not in the same way as the guy. That's my take on it.
It's hard to say how it will go. I think you made some good points, and in the currency of what people say and what they type basically has now been cheapened a lot. And so, this app might catch on, and but it might be the case where people just say it for fun and nothing ever really happens.
Let's go back to the Twitter feed. I have a question from Laramie Lee. Are Asians more conservative when it comes to online dating, or is this just another Asian stereotype?
Stereotypes are always based on some truth. So I would say that it is probably true if you do a careful cross-cultural comparison of the activity of Asians versus Westerners. It might be very, very true that you'll still find that different.
Do we have any more questions from the floor? The lady in the corner. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jean. I asked a question just now. I didn't, because there's, I think more in response to what one of the panelists said about the economics of dating, online dating. But anyway, I have a question for, I guess, the panel. Is there a way to make dating more efficient? And what I mean is not like, the kind of speed dating or stuff like that. I'm just wondering, since we're talking about social media, right, is there a way to harness the technology to, I guess, make it less, how do you say, because if you think about it from an economic perspective, there are inefficiencies when it comes to dating. You meet someone, there's no chemistry, you move on. Is there a way to harness the technology of social media to make it more efficient then?
I would say yes. You can add, the dear gentleman said in the back, you can use videos, you can add a lot of features, you can add your social profile, and as we go along, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, I assume that it's just going to get more and more open, and we're going to get more and more information from people. So yes, I believe that you could harvest it, but as it looks today, I think that most dating apps that are using social media are trying to utilize what is there as much as they can. But offline is still...
Yeah, offline still works, because you can find that things are universally attractive, but the people who are universally attractive will have lots of people chasing them. So it's not really efficient in the end. And then as far as trying to figure out common interests, that you can definitely do that online. But again, as Alexander pointed out, you don't really know if you have chemistry until you meet in person. So you just really need to get that in-person meet, and then it takes time because it's very easy for people to act one way, as Norman was saying, to present your best foot. You put your best foot forward at the beginning, and it just takes time to actually meet the real person and see who that person really is like when they're relaxed.
We have a question from the lady in the front.
Hi. My question is, just now during one of the panel discussions, Alexandra mentioned that it's just his app or someone else's app is just like LinkedIn, where people do recommend each other. So referring back to social media, compared to Facebook and LinkedIn, how important or what do you think is the future to integrating the online dating with LinkedIn compared to Facebook? Because from my side, just personally, I would believe in LinkedIn profile better than Facebook profile. But on the other hand, when you see just now how different people recommend or refer to each other, either online or offline, their career perspective from what they see on the Facebook are the same, but they're very different from LinkedIn profile.
So so LinkedIn, and this is something that LinkedIn is a business professional network, and they don't even allow online dating inside. So it's even impossible for any dating app to go inside LinkedIn. That is one answer to the question. The other answer is LinkedIn is, yes, for you, since you're probably a businesswoman, and LinkedIn shows more of seriosity than Facebook. Facebook is a little bit more kind of like a playground where people post and upload their funny jokes and all this. But at the same time, that is also a side of you. So your LinkedIn business profile, I mean, just by going into your LinkedIn and looking at your profile, it will tell me a pretty good deal about who you are in your business life. But going into your Facebook profile will give me a pretty good idea of who you are in your free life. So I think, yeah.
Do you see a trend of people going into checking their Facebook as well as their LinkedIn profile, or they're still more focused on Facebook profile when people start dating and then they check?
I'm sorry,
I didn't hear you.
Sorry, do you see a trend of people going into checking both profiles in order to identify this person is a potential date or not, or they're still more focused on Facebook profiles?
Well, if I meet someone, it doesn't matter where I meet them, in a bar or if I meet them on an online dating site. I think today the openness of social media will do that if you have her first name and her last name, you will go to check her Facebook, you will check her LinkedIn, you will check everything you can. Yeah.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, I think this will be the last question because we're running out of time.
Hi, thank you to the panel. It's very heartening to hear what you have said. Just to take an opposite view, I think the dating scene or the dating landscape for whoever is starting out or have gone through it might be more heartache and pain. Some people are unlucky. And I see the younger generation, I've overheard conversations where they are competing for likes, for example, and they are getting more and more savvy. But for across the board, generally, I think people would have to learn to deal with social media in the dating scene. And it probably would go down before it goes up. From a panelist, what would you recommend as a safety rule? Like, if there's one rule to approaching or using social media in dating, what would it be?
A safety rule, did you say?
Yeah, I guess, like a safety rule, be skeptical, for example, or what would it be if you're using social media in dating?
Any advice from you?
Well, So the reason why I built my online dating application is because I've been using online dating for 10 years, and I've been using Facebook and all kinds of social networks. And I would just say that Facebook is not a dating application. Facebook is more something that you use after you have a connection with a girl. So if you meet her at a bar offline, then you can go into her Facebook and look. To try and use Facebook as a dating application is wrong. It's not the right form. It's like using LinkedIn or Twitter to start. That's not what people use it for. So when it comes to safety, I would say just put on your privacy settings on Facebook, so that make sure that other people cannot see who you are, or might not even contact you if they're not your friends or have friends of friends with you, and only post public stuff that you think that would not reflect in any bad way for who you are. So you could probably post a public post about a news article that you think is funny, because that, but do not post you in a pajamas drinking from a champagne bottle and make it public. I think you should keep to, if you do business, keep to LinkedIn. If you want to find potential dates, then you use online dating sites. Put your privacy on Facebook, and try and meet them offline as soon as possible, so that you can get and when you meet them offline, number one, try and get a prepaid card, whatever, so that you don't give your own real phone number. I have stalkers still. Yeah, that's basically just a.
Those are good points. I'd like to just add that not only should you be aware of the deception of other people, but of your own deception. So, you know, people create their own personalities, their own public personas on Facebook and other social media. And if you meet people, make new friends, or find new lovers or mates through that medium, then you need to, in order to make that relationship potentially work out and last, you might need to, you probably will need to, keep portraying the person that you have projected initially online. So keep that in mind.
Just following up on that point, you need to, at some point, take it offline. And if you haven't figured out what to do on a date or how to present yourself well, it won't matter how awesome you were online. You're still going to have to learn the offline dating and relationships and how to have children and raise them and so on. You can't raise children online, so it's still not possible. That's it.
I suppose just to add to that is just you know, like in life you have boundaries, and you need to have boundaries when using social media as well. So just be smart about it. You know, you are equipped with good instincts. Listen to them. Set your boundaries. Know exactly what to use social media for and what not to. And if you follow that, I think you should be okay. Hopefully.
I'm afraid we've run out of time, but thank you very much everyone for being here today, and thank you also to the panelists for viewing all the questions.